The story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a beautiful little girl named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her hair as black as night, and her lips as red as a rose. Snow White lived with her wicked stepmother, the Queen, who was envious of her extraordinary beauty. Let us enjoy the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The wicked queen had a magical mirror, and she would ask it every day, "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror would always reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest." But one day, the mirror's answer changed and said, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." The wicked queen was furious and decided to get rid of Snow White. The queen ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. However, the huntsman couldn't bring himself to harm the escape to the forest. Innocent girl, and let her escape into the forest. Snow White wandered through the forest until she came upon a small cottage. She entered the cottage and found 7 tiny beds, where she fell asleep from exhaustion. In the morning, the 7 dwarfs, who worked in a gold mine, returned to their cottage. They were surprised to find Snow White in their home. When she told them her story, they felt pity for her and decided to take care of her and protect her. Snow White agreed to stay with them and help them tidy the cottage and prepare meals. When the wicked queen learned from her mirror that Snow White was still alive and living with the dwarfs, she was enraged and decided to deal with Snow White herself. Disguised as an old peddler woman, the queen went to the cottage where Snow White lived. She offered her a poisoned apple, and when Snow White took a bite, she fell to the ground, unconscious. When the dwarfs returned in the evening and found Snow White lying on the ground, they tried to wake her, but to no avail. They were heartbroken and believed she was dead, so they made a glass coffin and placed her inside. One day, a young prince happened to pass by and saw Snow White in the coffin. Moved by her beauty, he asked the dwarfs if he could take the coffin to his castle. As the prince was transporting the coffin, a servant stumbled and a piece of the poisoned apple was dislodged from Snow White's throat, awakening her from her deep sleep. The prince and the dwarfs were overjoyed, and the prince proposed to Snow White. She accepted, and they lived happily ever after, while the wicked queen received her just punishment. The story of Snow White and the 7 dwarfs teaches us that goodness always triumphs over evil, and that true beauty lies in the heart and soul. Always remember to be kind and caring to others, for goodness will return to you in the most beautiful ways.